Welcome to the 2024 Rallycross Fest drivers meeting. I have been waiting all winter for this. I'm Keto.
And I'm Katie. This is always a little bit of a longer driver meeting, but we're going to do our best to keep it succinct and keep it short, get you in and out. But please take the time to watch this video all the way through. I don't care how many of these you've seen. A little bird told me at the last event that they didn't watch this their drivers meeting for that event because they had seen so many. And I don't know if you know this, but we put in different information every time. So please watch it all the way through. Let's do our part to have a great event. So with that, Rallycross Fest has 3 days to it. The first day is the novice and advanced workshops. So they are combined into a single day. They'll be running simultaneously on different parts of DirtFish's property.
That's right.
That's right. That's Friday. Saturday is race day number 1. Sunday is race day number 2. And we'll wrap up race day number 2 with awards, which accumulate over the course of the 2 days. So if you are new to Rallycross, please take time to watch this video and then watch the cone basics video that is linked in the comments or in the description. That way you can see how the Rallycross cones are set out and what they mean, because that's how we design the course. Just know that even though we're doing this virtual meeting, this is going to contain the majority of the information you need. We are both days going to have a driver meeting at your course. Before we get going. It should be very short, but just for like pertinent day of information you need to know. So watch this, and there will be an in-person quick drivers meeting on race day. If you're watching this, you've probably gotten an email from us, but on the off chance you haven't, we sent an email out with a competitor guide. That competitor guide also has all the information you're going to need. It has schedules, run groups, tips, packing list, everything. So please also be sure you read that competitor guide all the way through. So with that, let's start with race weekend. We'll talk about all the details for the race weekend, and at the end, we'll cover the workshop days. So the most important thing to know for the race weekend is that there are 2 courses, 3 run groups. It's a lot to keep track of. So there's course 1, which is up front by the planer building at DirtFish, and course 2, which is all the way in the back at DirtFish. The 3 run groups are wait, there are 6 run groups. Sorry, there are 2 groups, each broken into 3. So 3 will be racing on course 1, 3 will be racing on course 2, and on day 2, you switch. All of this is outlined in your competitor guide. So essentially what you need to know is on day 1, group 1 is going to be on course 1, and the order is going to be group A, group B, and then group C. And then on Sunday, group 1 goes to course 2, and the order, I think it inverts. It goes C, then B, then A. Don't quote me on that. Double check the schedule in your competitor guide to make sure. You need to know where you're supposed to be at any given time so that you are on time, you get all your laps, you're there for your work assignment. So like we said, please be sure you check the schedule, you read the competitor guide, and you know what to do. The other big thing is that there's 3 run groups, and so there's no lunch break. Instead of the normal, you race, you take a lunch break, and then you work. Instead, the way you can expect your day to go is that you will race, work, and rest. It will always be in that order, but you may not start with racing. So if you start with working, you will work, rest, race. Again, all in your competitor guide, but it's important to know there's no lunch break. So on your rest session, take that chance to get your lunch, eat some lunch, take a break, that sort of thing. Couple reminders that are, some of them are new, some of them are just different for this event. Will you talk about how we hold people in grid now?
At the end of your runs, you will need to return to grid, and you will need to stay there until they release you. We do that in case there's any reruns. We definitely don't want to be chasing you all the way across DirtFish, trying to find you to make up a run. So we stay there. Course 1 is going to be pretty similar. When they release you, you can go park your car and then get out your work assignment. At course 2, however, it is too far for you to go all the way back, park your car, and then walk all the way back out. So what we will do is when we release you, we will release you into a parking area that is very close to grid where you will pull in your car. So that being said, when you go out to race on course 2, you're going to be out there while you're racing and then while you're working. So bring with you all the things you need to race, jack, spare tire, whatever you're going to need. Throw that in the car. Then also please bring, hat, sunscreen, water, whatever you need to work the course. Once you're done with the course, you'll come back, get in your car, and then you will drive back to paddock area. You cannot drive back the way you came at course 2. There will be a loop. It is one way. We do not want cars meeting each other head on. So please do not try and just quickly duck out that way. Okay. You will need to go around at course 2. You'll go past timing, past the W's, and then you'll enter back over to the paddock area through the boneyard.
Yeah. So an easy way to remember that is if you're at course 2, no U-turns from grid. One thing you didn't mention, all the things you're going to bring because you race and then work, don't forget snacks. That's going to be a 4.5-hour block of time. So when you bring your water, bring snacks. What we often see people do is just off to the side, there's like a nice shaded grassy area. People put their coolers, their tools, all of that over there. Just come prepared, bring your stuff, set it off to the side. You can load it back up in when you're done.
That's right.
Great.
Yep.
One thing, go ahead.
One other thing is some people do bring an umbrella. It is appropriate in certain areas. If you're back in the trees, you won't need one. But if you're in an open area, you can have one to give yourself some shade. It just can't be red or bright orange, any part of it. And then also just be prepared that if you have to run to get a cone, you're probably going to have to drop it. So it's probably not going to want to have a real nice, expensive umbrella, for that. But that's just to let you know. All right.
Just feels like really good advice to not bring your fancy shit out to Rallycross generally.
I mean,
I don't know. Okay.
Bring your fancy skills.
Yeah, bring your fancy skills, please. For Rallycross Fest, competitors may not ride along with another driver until they have completed their competition on that course.
That's right.
Meaning, when you are done racing on course 1, you are welcome to use your rest session to ride along with friends on course 1. You may not ride along with people before you've raced that course.
That's right.
No
so that same
one exception.
Individual cannot go to course 2 and start riding along, even though they finished racing on course 1.
That's right. Yep.
However,
the one exception.
No, as well.
Oh.
Okay. We have the one exception is if you're on a learner's permit, then you have to have somebody ride with you. And that is the one exception. And then there was something else and I forgot what it was.
To do.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, when it comes back to you,
I'll interrupt you.
it out.
Yeah.
You'll interrupt me.
Yeah, I will.
Nice, equal opportunity. All right. When you get to the venue, you're going to show up at the gate. You're going to sign a waiver. We are going to give you a wristband. Wear that wristband for the entire weekend so that the next time you show up, you can just come on in. You don't have to sign the waiver again. This venue does not charge us to enter, so there's no charge, but you will have to sign the waiver and wear your wristband. They're going to, P.S. We are going to the main entrance at DirtFish. We are going to the main entrance at DirtFish.
The back entrances will be locked.
Yeah, and that'll be our clue. If you ask us which entrance, I'll know you didn't watch this. And then you'll be directed to parking. We are parking in the big open area like we always do for Rallycross Fest. If you've been there before, it's a lot of drivers. We have more than 200 drivers. So please pack in close to your neighbor, set up your space, obviously, but like get close to your neighbors. Don't just set up a huge swath of area for yourself. Be considerate, be tidy, be compact. And once you're there and you're parked, get your car ready for tech inspection. One thing to know about tech inspection for this event is that you will only need to pass it one time. So if you come to the workshops on Friday, you have to go through tech to go to the workshops. You don't need to then do tech again on Saturday. And then there is no tech on Sunday because you already did it on Saturday.
That's right.
All right. You want to talk about what to expect at tech inspection?
It's going to be the same everything except for the stickers will be a little different and we're a little stickier on the stickers, if you got that. Anyways, moving on. So we're going to check your suspension, your wheels, shake it, make sure that, nothing falls off or is rattling around in there. Batteries, positive is covered and isn't loose, throttle return, brake pedal has pressure, that you have your helmet, that there's a seat belt. Yes, that there's a steering wheel in the car. No, we will hope you have a steering wheel. But what else did I miss?
We will check your helmet.
I did say that.
He said that. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Mhm.
Have your tow hook installed.
Yes, that was something that I would like to talk to you about. So, if you have one of those tow hooks that you have to pop off a little plastic thing and then screw your tow hook in, can you please pop off your little plastic thing and screw your tow hook in? That way, if something happens, it's a lot less time for us to recover you, and we're more likely to, pull it from an appropriate spot, that's designed. So, if you have a tow hook that's kind of underneath, if you can get a tow sticker, that'd be great, and point it at where we're going to. Please also take a look underneath your cars where the hookups are, because if something happens and we do have to pull you out of there, when we hop out of our truck and walk over to you, the very first thing we're going to ask you after, are you okay, is where's your tow point? So if you could please know that answer, that would be very useful. Yes.
For those of you who are new, it's important that we know where to tow your car from so we don't damage it. We're trying to do our best.
Yes.
The thing you forgot to say is your car is to be empty. So get all your stuff out. So don't show up to tech with, like, if you bring a big tote of tools or your cooler, whatever, all has to already be out.
Have your car race ready. You need to have your numbers on, your stickers on, as if you're racing, not, oh, I'll go back and empty the stuff back out. No, it needs to be empty when you show up at tech, please.
Yep. Okay, so after you're done with check-in, you then need to walk the course. Walk only the course you're racing that day. You will have time on Sunday to walk the second course you're racing. So walk the course after tech inspection. Give yourself plenty of time to walk it multiple times. And then when you're done with that, you need to be at the course where you are racing that day, ready for your first session.
Yep.
So if your first session is racing, you want to be lined up in grid with your car, get out, go to the driver's meeting. If you're working the first session, take all your things with you, be ready for work, go to the driver meeting, and then get out on course and do your work assignment. If you're resting the first session, you still must go to the driver's meeting, but then you may mill about and do what you like after the meeting is over.
That is correct.
You will get a parade lap at this event. So if you were at the Mayhem event and there was no parade lap, wipe that from your brain. You will get a parade lap. You'll get one lap at the course at slow speed, and then racing starts. You want to talk about what happens when they're at the line?
Before that, when you do your parade lap as dual drivers, you have two choices. You can have one person drive, one person sit, passenger seat. You will get one single pass for the both of you, or you can take it one at a time in the car. For this race, this is the only race we do this way, but it is how we do this race.
Yep. The goal is for everyone to see the course one time.
That's right.
At slow speed before racing.
Yep. So when you get to the start line after you have done your parade lap, we expect you to have your helmet on. If you smoke cigarettes, we expect them to be extinguished. Do not have any loose items in the car, nobody holding a phone, anything like that in the passenger seat. Seatbelt on, window up. You get 1 inch if you would like at the top. And anywhere there is a person in the car, front seats only, the window must be up. You're welcome to have your passenger window down. If you're the only one in the car, you're welcome to have your back windows down. Again, it'll probably get a little dusty in there, just to let you know. And then you're ready to race. Yep. So then you'll follow the direction of the start person.
Yep. The course is set out with cones. And if you're new, you're going to watch that cone video that we talked about, so you know what they mean. But if you hit a cone, it's 2 seconds. If you go to the wrong side of the cone, it is 10 seconds. And every lap you take, we take your time and we add the time penalties for any of the cones you hit or missed. And your final time at the end of the day is the accumulation of all those times. So
with no toss outs.
In Rallycross, there's no dropped runs. So you will be able to access your runs, your times for the course that you're on via a local Wi-Fi. So you'll connect to NWRA scoring Wi-Fi, and then open your browser and go to the browser link. There'll be a sign there to tell you how to do it. So, or you can ask a friend. But so local Wi-Fi for your course only for this event. Okay, so let's say you're out on course and you see a cone down. What should you do?
Well, you have two options. You can stop, point to the cone, make sure a course worker sees you, and then you need to get back on your pony because somebody's coming hot behind you. And get to the finish line. When you get to the finish, you will be directed for a rerun. Or you can act as if that cone doesn't exist in this world because it's not going to be counted against you. May be able to get a straighter line and continue on. Once you get to the next gate, where there's another cone and you reach it, you can no longer go back to, oh, there was a cone down. That's the past. Also, please don't come to us at the end of the run and tell us there's a cone down. You must do it on course.
Course workers, if you are the person that receives the information that there's a cone down, register it, tell them to get going again, and then you or have your captain radio in car 123 stopped for a down cone, and then we'll continue. If that cone was down because you needed more time to get to it, also just let us know that, and we'll increase the gap between cars.
Yes, yes.
What should you do if you see a red flag being waved while you're driving?
Well, you should come to a stop as quickly as you can, safely. Wait for a course worker to come up to you, let you know what you need to do, whether it's turn around, go back to the start, or continue course at parade, whatever. Just follow their direction, and then you will be directed back to start for a rerun.
Yep. Sometimes you're the reason for that red flag. It could be that you're catching the car in front of you, at which point we will just stop you, hold you for a second, then we'll let you finish and we'll give you a rerun on that lap. But it could also be because you have a D-bead. You want to talk about that?
So if you have a D-bead, we're going to shut you down because the car is going to be listing to one side and the wheel can dig in and promotes rollover.
What's a D-bead?
So the D-bead is when the tire comes, loses the air off of the rim. So sometimes if you hit a rut really hard and you don't have enough tire pressure, it can pull the tire off of the rim. And so now you're kind of, doing the thing, right? So we're going to shut you down, and we're going to send you back to get it fixed. You're going to have 10 minutes to get it fixed and get back and get a rerun. That's a onesie. So if you get another D-bead, we will also red flag you, but you will just be given a DNF and you'll have to go fix it before your next run. So make sure that if you do get a D-bead, that next time go around, maybe you have a little more tire pressure in there or some plan to not have it D-bead. That would be some good piece of advice. Yes.
So if you do get a D-bead and we send you off, that 10-minute is your 10-minute timeout. Some people may call it your 10-minute mechanical. You will only get one timeout per, is it day for Rallycross Fest? Per day.
Yep.
So if you use it on your D-bead, it's gone. But if you don't get a D-bead and you have any other kind of issue, you do have the opportunity to take a 10-minute timeout. The way it works is that you need to let the head of grid know, or you need to let timing know. Grid is probably going to be your best option. They're going to be closer, and they will let us know at timing, and we will start the clock when you are supposed to be at the start line. So if you're able to go fix what you need to fix and come back before that before you're supposed to be at the start line, you haven't used your 10 minutes and you're good to go. If you take 15 minutes, then you get a DNF for that run. So you miss that run altogether, but then you get to continue and do any following runs. So you're not out for the day, but for that one particular run.
That's correct.
If you don't tell us and you just aren't at the start line when it's your time to go, you get a DNF. So keep that in mind. And don't tell another competitor, like you have to tell head of grid so they know.
Yes.
All right. So that is the race session of your day. The work session, your work assignment is required.
Yes. One more thing, just to reiterate too, at the very end, when you finish your last lap, you will return back to grid. You will not go back into paddock. You'll come back to grid and you'll hold there until we release you.
Just line right back up where you were.
Right in your spot.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, now we'll go to work assignments. Most of your work assignments will be out on course, shagging cones, or you'll be a comm captain. I just want to reiterate, this is required. If you skip out on your work assignment, you will be disqualified and asked not to come back. It is a required part of the day. When you're out on course, you must wear an orange vest. That is how we know that you're a course worker, and that's how we make sure people can see you and you don't get run over.
And let me also please say this, the orange vest must be on the outside. Yes.
Of your body?
On the, like, you cannot put something over the orange vest.
Yes.
I frequently am running into that.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Wear your orange vest on the outside.
Yeah. Where it's useful.
Be on your feet. Anytime we are racing, we will, in each run group, take one tractor and water break, and that will be communicated over the radio. At that time, you're welcome to like dip off into the shade or sit down. Please don't go far. Those breaks will be very short. But you can take a load off for a minute if you need to. You need to keep your eyes on the cars. So you're going to have a section of cones that you're responsible for. The expectation is that you watch every car go through your section. That serves two purposes. Purpose number one, you don't get run over. Purpose number two is that if that car hits a cone, you see it happen, you can put it back and you can call it in on the correct car very quickly. If you are turned the wrong direction talking to a friend and a car comes, one, you're at risk because they're coming at the backside of you. And two, if you don't see them hit a cone and then you turn around and the cone's down, you don't know how long it's been down. You don't know who hit it. You can't call it in, and you're creating sort of a less desirable course for the next person. So.
Yeah, and just treat it the same as you would want people to watch as you're competing and paying attention and not assigning, a cone to you that wasn't yours. So just do everybody else the same solid and pay attention. And one more thing to add is that really like to see people spread out at their comm stations. It's really hard when you have 5 people grouped together and then, one person's off running and grabbing cones. So just spread out throughout the course, make it easier for you to get to the cones, better vantage to see what happens if somebody does hit it. Have people on both sides of the course, so on and so forth. So just spread out a bit.
Yep. So know which cones you're responsible for. Your captain will figure out kind of the start and end of your quarter and then tell you which cones you're responsible for. That way the same person or different people or different corners are not calling in the same penalty on the same driver. And in that area of the cones you're responsible for, be sure you know where they need to go back. So if there is a slalom, be sure you know how far apart the slalom cones are. Be sure you know if they're in a straight line or if they're kind of staggered. You can use like a rock as a marker off course or something, so you know how to line up your cones. But it's important that we get the cones back exactly where they started, so the course maintains its shape and doesn't like spread out or get tighter throughout the day. Like I said, each corner will have a captain. Captains will have a radio and a red flag. Both of those things need to be with you and on your person and in your hands the entire time. We don't want to see you running back to your bucket to get your red flag if there's a red flag call, and we need to make sure you hear any radio calls. So if we're communicating out to you, you hear what we have to say. So we will do a radio check before we start to make sure everyone can hear us. And at that time, we'll make sure we have good coverage and we're ready to go. As a course worker, if you hear a red flag call over the radio and we say full course, red flag, red flag, red flag, what that means is you need to pull out your red flag, get out near the course and wave it so any driver coming can see you. You're going to hold that car and wait for instructions to be delivered over the radio. We do not want you radioing back to us and asking questions, because that clogs up the airways and we can't communicate if there's something going on. So we will confirm with you what you should do, but until you're directed, just hold that driver at your corner.
That's correct. If we're dealing with some other incident or issue that takes priority, or there's a safety issue, we may, this sounds bad, but we may ignore you for a couple minutes to deal with that. But we know that you're out there, and we'll also check, do a course check before we get going again. And y'all can let us know if there's other vehicles out there.
Yep.
Yep.
If you need to call in a red flag,
Yes.
the cars are catching each other. You have a car off course. You have a car with a D-bead, any number of things. Your responsibility as the captain is to quickly but clearly tell us what is happening. That sounds like COM1, car 123 has a D bead, red flag. Or COM1, car 123 is off course, red flag. We need to know what's happening in conjunction with the call for a red flag, because that tells us what to do with the rest of the cars.
Right.
If you're at COM1, you have a car off course, we'll just hold start. If you're at COM6 and you have a car off course, we're going to shut down the whole course. And so
Right.
you give us a tiny bit of information, but please don't drag on. Make
Right.
it very short and sweet.
Right. So just telling us that you have a red flag is great, but we do need more information than that. We need to know why, because then we know what to do. Right. We know how to respond to it.
Yep. All right. We want you to prepare for the elements. Most likely, it is going to be a hot, sunny day. Most likely.
I thought we were going to have freezing rain.
Most likely. So wear sunscreen, bring lots of water. You can wear a hat, umbrella, long sleeves, whatever it might be. Please plan ahead. Standing outside in the hot sun for 2 hours is hard on our bodies, and we're like sensitive little Pacific Northwesterners. So plan ahead. Pack a raincoat, because it is still the Pacific Northwest, but you know, it's probably going to be hot. If you see a spectator on course, we do run into this quite a bit at DirtFish because there's lots of little nooks and crannies. If you see someone near or on course
or heading
toward course, not wearing an orange vest, please do 2 things. Or delegate this or do it yourself. Kindly ask them to turn around and go back where they came from. We don't want them near the course. And also let us know. Just radio it in. We want to be sure we're keeping spectators clear of the course, keeping them safe, keeping them in designated areas. And so we just need you to tell them to turn around and then let us know, and we'll come check it out. The same rings true for media. If you see someone taking pictures, but they're not wearing a yellow vest and they don't have a media wristband on, they need to come check in with us. If you see someone with a yellow vest, no wristband, they still need to check in with us. It's the wristband that authorizes them to come out onto course and take pictures. I forgot to be prepared with the wristbands. Give me 1 second. They're right here. Did you entertain the people while I was gone?
No, we all just watched.
Media. This is what they look like. They're red. They say media. If you don't see someone wearing them, please tell them to come check in with us. That is how we make sure we can keep the course safe.
Yeah. And if you think you're media,
you need a wristband.
And you don't have one of these, you're not media.
Which does bring up another thing. Just a reminder, everyone, do not have your phone out on course. You may not take pictures. You may not take phone calls. You may not send text messages. The one request that we do allow is some people bring a GoPro, put it on a tripod, and put it way off course so they can just catch cars going by while they're doing their work assignment. That is fine. They just need to be clear of course, and you may not be fiddling them with them during competition.
Yes.
Lastly, on the course working front, wild animals, they live at DirtFish, and they like to run out on the course sometimes. So that can be a reason for a red flag. That could be a reason to just radio us that you saw them. Please try and chase them away. Doesn't always work. And we're talking about like deer, usually.
Try and chase them away before they get to course.
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, that's another thing you look out for. No, they're not going to have wristbands or yellow vests. You're just going to have to do your thing with them. Okay, let's keep going. Housekeeping. Please be respectful. No speeding when you're in the paddock area, in the transit areas. Like, please drive safely, nicely. Keep the dust down. That's just awful and annoying, but also there's going to be a lot of people. We want to be good neighbors, all the things. Pick up garbage when you see it, even if it's not yours. Let's leave it cleaner than we left it.
Yep.
After the May event, it was the first time we've ever had DirtFish tell us we left some junk. There was garbage around. So like, let's not do that again. Yep. Pay attention to where you can and cannot go. We do block off roads. We use caution tape. We use cones. Like, just be really careful. We have
one-way street, one ways.
Yep. So keep that in mind. You can drop off your car in advance. I haven't talked about this yet. We have early tech inspection happening on Friday from 3 to 5:30. So if you're not doing the workshops and you want to get tech inspection done early, join us on Friday. You have a few hours to get it done, and that will make your race morning so much nicer. You won't have to wait in a long line, and you'll have way more time for course walking and prep and that sort of thing. So Friday, 3 to 5:30, it's in your competitor guide, but come join us for early tech inspection. If you want to drop off your car during that window, you will be able to set it up in the paddock area. And so take advantage of that. Get yourself all set up early. If you want to leave your car at DirtFish outside of that window, you can leave it in the upper overflow lot. So when you get down to the DirtFish parking lot, turn right and pull off to the side. Do not block traffic. Do not park in front of the school. But if you need to show up at like 11 p.m., their gates will be closed, but maybe 11 a.m. and the gate's not open for the lower area, you can just park off to the side there. Okay, we will have food trucks there. I'm gaming the system this year. I have 2 food trucks coming each day. So if one of them bails, hopefully the other one still shows up. I just said that to all of you, so I've probably jinxed us. So have a backup plan. We will have food trucks there, burgers, tacos, pizza, but still bring a lunch, bring snacks, just have a backup plan in case they all no show. The year it was like 100 degrees. They couldn't handle the heat. Last year, somebody just flaked out. So just be prepared. And lastly, dogs and other pets. We do have some cats. They're allowed. We had a goat. Yeah, it's been a long time, but we did have a goat. They're allowed. They're encouraged. We love having them there, but you have to have a plan for them. You can't leave them unattended in your car. You cannot leave them tied up outside. So you need to have a friend or a family member come and hang out with them when you're racing and working, because they can't be in your car when you race, and they can't go out to your work assignment with you. And if it's going to be a hot, dusty day, it's not the kind of conditions where you can just like leave them in your car. So please have a plan if you're going to bring your furry friends.
So I remembered what I forgot.
Oh.
So what I was going to tell everybody was that the ride-along restrictions only are for competitors.
Oh, yes.
We very much encourage other people to hop in and go for rides.
Yeah.
So those restrictions, like I said, are only for competitors.
Yep. DirtFish is going to have rental helmets. So what we have learned recently is that we don't have enough helmets for all the people who want to ride along, which is very fun. But you can rent them from DirtFish. I believe they will be $20, but you can keep them for the weekend or the day, and you'll be able to get them from their merchandise tent down near where we have our merch tent. We're going to have a couple vendors there by the food trucks. So that'll be an option for people who want to ride along.
Will be an option.
No, I forgot my train of thought.
You were going to talk about the booths.
Booths. Oh, I was. Okay, great. DirtFish is going to have a merch booth. So if you can get all your merchandise, all your DirtFish swag down by the food trucks, we're going to have a merch booth. So be sure to grab your swag from us. Rock Blocks is going to have a booth. That's going to be super fun. So go get some mud flaps and just chat with them. And Associated Electrics, they are an remote control car company. They sponsor at least one of the drivers that races with us, and so they're going to be out there too. So go support them. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know.
The A.
I'm stumped. Oh, Apex Seal's having a booth?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh.
Apex Seal was started by Pengdu. He races, but he also has done media for motorsports for a long time. And he created this platform where photographers and videographers can post their services, and then drivers can buy photo packages or photos from events. And so it's a super cool.
Which is where you can buy photos for this event. So you can go on there.
Yeah.
Sign up. There's drone pilots also. And so, yeah, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So be sure to check that out. All right. Okay, so those are all the housekeeping things. Real quick, we'll talk about the workshop days. We are hosting both the novice and the advanced class on the same day. For the novice class, it is going to be the same format we've always done. So if you've taken it before, no changes. You're going to show up in the morning, go through tech inspection, you'll have a classroom portion, and then you'll have 3 in-car practice sessions. There's a lunch break in there. And then
one thing, we're going to have you park at the bottom of the hill. That goes up to the school once you're done with tech.
Yeah.
I will line you all up at the bottom of the hill for the novice class.
Yes. There'll be a lunch break, and then we'll wrap up the day with a practice course. All that's in your competitor guide, but just so you know what to expect. But the advanced class is going to be a little bit different this year. We have decided to try and maximize your time in the car. So we've shrunk down the classroom portion, and it is now just a meeting, a driver's meeting. We're going to talk through some elements and some skills, and then you're going to spend more time in 3 different elements in your cars. There's a lunch break, and then we'll wrap up the advanced class with a practice course as well. So that is that. You can leave your cars overnight. You can leave your paddock area all set up between the workshops and the race day. Okay.
I would be cautious about leaving like a bunch of food. There are wild animals.
The aforementioned wildlife does get hungry.
Yeah, bears are occasionally going through there at night. So.
Yeah. Okay, with that, we'll wrap it up. Here's what you need to know. If you have questions, concerns, if you need anything, email us info@NW Rally Association, but you got to email us before like Wednesday before race day. We go out to DirtFish on Thursday, we set up, Friday's a school day, onward. And so it's really hard for us to respond to emails after that. If you're watching this video, it is too late to make changes to your class or your number. Those are set. You can change your car as long as it doesn't take you out of your class. So that's that, but we're here to help. Feel free to ask away. Let us know what you need. Otherwise, we are so excited to see you all. It's going to be a really fun weekend.
It is.
All right. See you there. Thank you.